doing? My name's Dave, and if Sugar Bytes skeuomorphic design aesthetic appeals to you and gives you the giggles, you can call me Daveypoo, the mobile music minstrel. How you doing? We're back with Sugar Bytes' latest DrumComputer, and this thing is awesome. There are tons of other people out there that are going to go through every single knob and tell you what every single knob does and go through every single part of this thing and give you the whole tutorial, and I'm not going to do that because my goal today is just to tell you how awesome this app is. DrumComputer is a drum synthesizer. Now, in the past, I've used drum synthesizers. The ones that come to mind are Rusemaker Dark and DM2. Also Axon 2 by Audio Damage. So I like those apps, and I own them all, and I've played with them at length. The problem that I have with drum synthesizers is that I have a hard time generating usable sounds. And I express this in granular synthesizer videos too. I can make cool sounds. I love doing sound design, but at the end of the day, I want to make a funky pop song or a funky rock song or a funky funk song or a funky jazz song. And the sounds that I've come up with, I'm not satisfied with what I've come up with for those styles of music. DrumComputer solves all of my problems because DrumComputer not only has a randomizer, but it's got the best drum synthesizer randomizer in the business. They've got algorithms, especially for kick drum, snare drum, hi-hat, and this thing just makes a kit. And it makes a kit that sounds awesome, like every single time. So let's just dive in and get cracking here. DrumComputer, there's a lot of knobs on the screen. Let's talk about a few simple things. The top section here, it's the synthesizer part, and it's set for the kick drum. If you select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if you select any one of these, it shows off the synthesizer parameters for each individual drum. Okay? That's the first thing. The bottom section is your mixer, okay, with levels and pads for each of the instruments. Now, if you notice right next to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then there's kit. If I hit kit, that shows off the rest of the mixer settings for each of the individual units. So you've got, your decay, your modify, pitching it, all that kind of stuff, routing it. Then you've got your sequencer. The sequencer is awesome, and we'll talk about that in a second. Next to sequencer, you've got this drop-down arrow with the rainbow colors. This is your mapping, how you're going to map the tones to the internal keyboard here or to an external device. Okay, so I am going to choose the very first preset by Sugar Bytes SB Analog Kit. Okay, I'm going to go over to sequencer so we can see what's going on. Make sure that we're listening to pattern 1. Now let's see what's going on with this pattern. There's a lot going on here. Let's make some sense out of this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hit this big gray X over here that allows us to clear out the whole pattern. Okay, now we got nothing. Now we're going to do a very simple beat so you can really hear the kit. Okay, pretty straightforward drum machine beat. Now, just underneath the lanes here where you can put in the actual notes, you've got your controller settings. So, I choose the hi-hat. I'm going to do this with the velocity. You can see over here it says VEL for velocity. Okay, great. Now I'm going to add in, let's see, I'm going to add in another kick hit. But I'm going to set the probability for that to 50%. So it doesn't always trigger. We're going to set the velocity for that down. So that it, there it is. A little bit higher on the velocity. Okay. And then we're going to add in another snare drum hit. And we're going to make that roll. We're going to bring the velocity down. And it just did a drum fill. Okay. So here's a basic beat. What happens if I hit this beautiful Make Kit button up at the top? Let's see. Okay, so we've already come up with 3 really, really interesting kits. That is sick. And it seems like every time I hit this, it just makes up another dope kit. Oh, that's mean. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. So now let's throw in some other random hits here. with very little effort, I've already made a pretty dope beat. Let me show you a couple other cool things that happen with the sequencer. So let's select the kick drum track. I can make it just play one direction, or I can make it play both. Pretty sick. All right, let's do the probability. I don't want this one to play all the time. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, let's try again. Let's make another kit. What? Okay, it just keeps getting cooler. I feel like I want to save every single one of these kits. Let me show you something else here that I thought was really cool. So, most of these things are MIDI mappable. Down here on the bottom, you see where it says Remix and Auto 1 and Auto 2. This is how you do drum fills. This little fader, when I set it on Remix, allows you to manually choose when you want to do a drum fill. If Auto 1 or Auto 2, it does it automatically. I'm going to map this slider to, I've got a Korg NanoPad 2 on the desk here, and I'm going to map the slider to the x-axis of the XY pad here. So I'm going to do, I know that it is CC1. Okay, so now as I slide left and right on the NanoPad, you can see it's moving. So I'm going to use this to live perform with this drum kit. So we're going to start the pattern. We're jamming away. We come up on the 4th bar and we want to do a drum fill. Ready? And I can do that all live with my XY pad. And each one of these positions of the arrow is like a different drum fill. Let's see. Okay, so you get the idea here. So by just mixing it up, and I mean, part of the reason I don't like drum machines is because they always sound stiff. No matter how well you program them, no matter how much probability, at the end of the day, it just is the same thing looping over and over and over again. This brings the whole thing alive. So, okay, let's use that same groove, hit make a kit. I mean, I can just sit here all day. Okay, so look, I have so much fun with this, and I don't know anything about it. I mean, there's all of this extra functions. Okay. I'm never going to sit and create a kick drum sound from scratch. I'm just not gonna. The make kit button is way too cool, and the algorithms are way better than any sound I could come up with. I'll just keep hitting make a kit until I'm able to come up with something that I like. Already, I've come up with a whole bunch of different grooves and kits, all from the randomizer. I mean, that's awesome. You can set, and in here, you can set the pitch of the different notes, right? So I have the snare drum going up. You can set the offset, you can humanize it. Okay, just the sequencer alone is super sick. Okay, never mind the fact that you've got customizable drums and the randomizer, and you can export the groove. You can set the instrument types to be different. Like you can choose preset individual instruments. You can choose preset kits. I mean, this thing's really got it all. I can't come up with enough superlatives to describe how rad this drum machine is, this drum synthesizer. And I normally really don't get along with drum synths. Have fun sound designing, but can't make them groovy or musical at all, and this thing is nothing but groovy and musical. This thing has been a blast to play with. In the interest of not always talking and you guys listening, I'm going to go out with some of the grooves that I've come up with here. So let's start with A Good Person. So here, I'm chaining together two sequences. Pattern 1 and pattern 2. 1, 2. And you can see it change here up at the top, and also here underneath where it says chain. Okay, so that's A Good Person. These kits are incredible. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's try starting that from the beginning. Don't know what I was thinking there, but, you know. It's great. I didn't come up with any of this. I can't explain to you enough. This is all done by the app. It does all the work for you. Now all I gotta have it do is write awesome songs. And this is the one we heard before. And that was it doing the drum fill. So cool. And then I made myself an init patch. The only thing I would complain about is every time I hit the Make Kit button, it seems like the MIDI CC thing pops up. Of course, now see, there you go. That would be my only complaint. Okay. This truly is random awesomeness. That's sick. All right. I could go on all day talking and jamming with DrumComputer. This is just the coolest app this century. I can't recommend it enough. It does all the work for you. It makes you sound like a better musician than you really are, and that's always the app that I want to purchase. So thanks, Sugar Bytes. This is a blast. Keep coming up with these things. This came out for PC, and everybody was drooling over it, and they just said, just wait, it's coming for iPad, and now it's here for iPad, and you can have the awesomeness too. So please go check out Sugar Bytes' new DrumComputer. I really don't have enough awesome things to say about it. This is just the greatest app. I'm having so much fun. Hey, if you like this thing, if this video, give it a thumbs up, and come subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this. Click the bell if you want notifications. Go to Daveypoo.bandcamp.com. I have 9 plus 2 more. Actually, I have 11 albums now available for free for you to download, and I have a couple more coming soon. Please go listen to all my music. It's 100% free. There's all sorts of styles of music. There's all sorts of different styles of Dave. Sometimes I'm engineering, sometimes I'm doing everything, sometimes I'm just playing bass. But please go check it out, Daveypoo.bandcamp.com, for all your Daveypoo needs. Better that it live in your ear hole than die a slow death on my hard drive. So come check me out on Facebook, check me out on Twitter, go to Patreon if you want to support the channel and see me do more of this. I'm on Instagram too. I'm on all your favorite social media sites. And thanks again, Sugar Bytes, and I will see you guys next time. I hope you like DrumComputer too, because I certainly do. Later.